What if you could automate your daily tasks without writing a single line of code? Relay.app makes that possible, and it's easier than you think. Check it out. Welcome back. I'm Zach from InnerDev Solutions. We help businesses streamline their processes using custom no-code tools so you can focus on what matters most. To learn more, you can visit our website, innerdevsolutions.com, or use the link in the description below. This is Relay, a automation tool that allows you to integrate with many different applications out there. If you do not have an account already, there's a link in the description below to get started. This is their home page. As you can see, they're really diving into the AI and more specifically the AI agent functionalities, and they regularly release new updates and new integrations with different AI models. Their founder, Jacob, he releases a lot of videos on how he's using different AI integration and agents within his operations. If you go into their gallery, you can see a lot of use cases already. And the last few here are focusing on AI and mini agents that they have developed and created demo videos on. This is a really great starting point if you're not familiar with Relay, or if you're trying to come up with different ideas on how to use AI within your business, or really any automation within your business. This is a great tool to get started with. There's a lot of different automation tools and integration tools that are out there now, but I would say from my experience, Relay.app is the easiest one to get started with. So it's great for the average user. They can jump right in and within not a lot of time, build your first automation if you've even never done so before. That being said, for more advanced use cases or complicated use cases, if you need to hire a consultant, there's people like me out there that can help you with that. And you can build a lot of advanced workflows with Relay.app as well. So it's great for the beginners and newcomers, but it's also great to build out more advanced workflows. Relay also has a really good documentation center. If you go to the Relay website and go into resources, there's documentation. Or from the homepage, this is once you've logged into the Relay app, they have a documentation link that will take you directly to this page, and they'll have the intro, helpful resources, and really anything that you want to learn about or need to learn about. They have lots of different documentation, both written and videos built in here as well. So that's a great starting point for anybody new. This is Relay's new homepage. It gives you access to all of your recent workflows that you have touched. That shows your recent runs. And then you can also access those things in more detail over here on the left. Apps, that's all of your tools that you've integrated with. You've got your list of runs and all of your workflows, of course. I'm going to go in and create a new workflow, and I'm just going to show you how to build a simple automation to start. I will also touch on using the human in the loop functionality that's built in, and also how to use AI that's built in as well. Make sure you name your workflow something relevant to what you're creating. In this case, I'm going to build something assuming that I've received a contact us form submission or an email, something along those lines. We can just call this contact us message received. The very first thing you need to start with is a trigger. There needs to be something that has happened to be able to initiate this automation. That's what a trigger is. And if we click into it, you can see a list of options. Now I'll go through each of these. The first one is an app. This is basically, we're going to start the automation based off of something that's happened in one of your integrated apps. I'll click into that list and you can see the long list of apps that Relay integrates with, and they're regularly integrating with more all the time. For example, those that use Airtable or SmartSuite, if something happens in one of your databases, whether it's a record change or a new record added, we can start the automation there. We scroll down a little bit. Maybe we have something in Calendly. We have our booking link or schedule available there. Once someone books a call with us, maybe we want to initiate some sort of automation. And you can see there's a long list of options. Fill out, which is a form software if someone submits a form. And in this case, this could be really useful for our contact us. There's lots of different options and apps to connect with. Manual, pretty self-explanatory. You have to go in and manually trigger this type of automation. scheduled on some sort of schedule basis, whether it's daily, hourly, monthly, whatever. You can trigger it that way. You can link to RSS feeds, and then Mailhook and Webhook. We won't get into those today. They're a little bit more complicated and advanced to deal with, but can be very useful. In this case, what I'm going to demonstrate, we're going to assume some sort of email came in or maybe a form submission came in. I'm just going to use this manual option just for simple demonstration purposes, but we'll imagine that a fill out form or something has been submitted. I'm just going to quickly add a few inputs that would be relevant to a form, and then we can test off of that data. I've added some example form data. We have name, email, and message. Once the automation has been triggered, we'll need to go to whatever the next action is. The next step is we're going to send an email to the person that submitted the form. Now, I've already connected to Gmail. Connecting Relay to all of your apps is relatively straightforward, and it will prompt you to the information that it needs to make that integration happen. You can usually have it done within a few seconds to a minute tops. If we go into Gmail, I'm going to send an email, and I'm going to send it to the email that was found in the form submission. In this case, it's a manual start, but if you were using fill out, for example, it would show fill out as the first step, which corresponds to this number here. And I'll go in and select the email. Subject, and just say something like, thanks for contacting us. Maybe we'll bring in the person's name as well. We'll keep the email pretty straightforward, but we'll just say, thanks for reaching out. We will be in touch soon. And if you need to add attachments or add a label to this email, you can add an additional action. Now here, what I want to do is Relay's made it really easy to connect with LinkedIn. We'll go to this web scraping option, and you can see there's a number of different options. But if we go over to this get LinkedIn profile data from URL, we could extract data from LinkedIn if we had access to their URL. In this case, we don't. We're going to search LinkedIn for profile by email because they did provide that to us. We'll hit this plus icon, go manual start, and pass in the email. If you want, you can pass in the person's first name, last name, company domain, or company name if they provided that information to us. In this case, I'm just going to test this with the email address. Even if there's no profile found, we're just going to continue. The next step, we are going to add this information to our CRM. I just have a really simple Smart Suite solution set up with a table, and it's just going to have the name, email, and then the LinkedIn details. Add a new app. So we can just search Smart Suite, and we are going to create a record. You'll have to go find the table that's in a workspace that's within my CRM and Relay solution, and then it's in table 1. We can add information in. We want to populate the name, the email, and the LinkedIn details. The name, that comes from the manual start, or for example, fill out. Then we can add in the email, and then the LinkedIn details will come from this step here. And we can go person, and here we can just pass in some information. We'll go over profile, hover over the person, and we can see different options. If we want to bring in the education, positions, you can. The other thing you could do is pass in all these details to OpenAI for one of the AI models to summarize all of the information. I'm just going to pass in a couple of random fields. We'll go into skills, maybe pass in all text there. We can pass in maybe the company as well that they are currently working at. We'll pass in the name, and then we can pass in the URL as well. From here, we can go click profile URL so that within our CRM, we can select the link and just view the profile right in LinkedIn. It's a really good starting point, simple automation. If we go up here, we'll click start run. We can see it's going through each step. The searching LinkedIn takes a few seconds longer, but you should see it process in a moment, and it's added it to Smart Suite for us, or whatever CRM you're using. We can see it's brought in name, email address. If I expand this, we can see some of the information and fields that we passed in there. This is where it might be better off to pass all those details as a whole to some sort of AI model so it can summarize it for you. but either way, we get a link here. If we select that, it would take us directly to LinkedIn. Now, the next thing I wanted to demonstrate was the human in the loop element. Let's continue with this specific workflow, but we're going to imagine now that we want to notify whoever is responsible for managing the leads. What we could do is, let's say the leads come in, go to our database, and then we can select who the lead is supposed to go to. If we open this up, we'll go down to the human in the loop, and we are going to manually select a path. So what I'm going to do is just basically do nothing and let it go to our CRM and handle our assignment there. But maybe there's certain types of leads that come in and we want to send it to a specific person. Let's have our specific person as John, and the other one we'll just put CRM. And at this point, we're not going to actually end the whole run. We'll just end the path. So we'll go back to John here. And in this case, we can send an email or a Slack notification to John. We'll go add step and we'll just do email. We'll go Gmail, send an email. We can enter John's email, but I'm just going to send it to myself. We'll put new lead and we can pass in the person's name and whatever additional details we want to add in. We can do that here as well. We are going to provide the record URL so that John can open up in SmartSuite that record specifically. Now we'll test this whole workflow in a moment, but there's one other step I wanted to do. We'll go back to SmartSuite and I'm going to add a summary. I'll just use the text area and summary of needs. Add another step, and it's going to be a simple AI step. So we can click AI and we'll use this built-in summarize option. The 4.0 mini is a good and cheap place to start. And the source to summarize is from the manual start. We want to go down and pass in the message specifically. The length of the summary is going to be a few sentences. Now, again, mine is already just one sentence, so this isn't going to make a whole lot of sense. But from here, we will process this summary, and then we need to go and update SmartSuite so that we can pass it in. Search SmartSuite, we'll update a record and go select this record here. And we can select the summary of needs field and pass in the response from the AI model. Publish this, go in and we'll start this run. And as long as we have set up everything correctly, each step should show up as a success and it will prompt me to take some sort of action here. You get notified in Slack, and from there, you have to choose an option. I'll just do it within our run menu. I'll just select John. It'll summarize the message and update it back in SmartSuite. If we go into SmartSuite, we can see here that it has summarized the message provided. And if we go into my email, you can see that a new lead was sent directly to me. And if I select this button, it will open up the user profile or the new lead in our CRM here. There's a lot more that you can do with Relay. There's so many different new features that are constantly being released. As demonstrated, you don't have to know any code, but if you do want to go that route, there is a code block that you can integrate as well. If you need to write some JavaScript to perform some sort of action that isn't possible, or that's just easier to run a script to perform, there's so many different things that you can do with Relay. It is a great automation tool and really easy to get started with. That's it for this video. I hope you enjoyed it. Make sure you hit that subscribe button for more tutorials in the future.